welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Kenny, and if you're not, then welcome back to my channel. So, this is what we've all been waiting for. This is the ultimate all-star season of RuPaul's Drag Race, and they have all the winners. So, if you guys haven't seen my last video, I basically talked about already the first 15 minutes of the episode. It's the girls' entrance looks, and it's them basically, seeing where they've been and what they've been up to, how they've been, living their life after a winner of Drag Race season. Basically, what we're going to start off with is the mystery queen that left us off wondering, who is this queen? On Twitter, a lot of people have been saying, oh, is it Jujubee? Is it Bianca? Even Bianca even posted on her Twitter. And everybody was just wondering, who is this queen? So, basically, I was talking and I was thinking, I was like, well, I mean, like I said, it could be Valentina. It could be somebody just saying, oh, welcome back, which it is that person. But in the actual show, it made it seem like that this person was an actual contestant of the All-Star Winner season. Basically, who it happens to be is Miss Raven. So, basically, when Raven came on, she went up against Tyra, and she also went up against Chad Michaels on both things, and she was a finalist in both of those seasons, but she didn't win, so basically it was like alternative winner. And to me, I was immediately upset because I was like, why is she on here? She's not a winner. She didn't win the crown, and it just made no sense to me. So I was immediately upset because I was like, this isn't fair, because if that's the point, Bob could have been on, Bianca, Violet, any of these other girls could have been on. Like, don't give it to Raven for don't give Raven the spot if she's not an actual winner. So I was upset. But basically, Trinity and RuPaul was like, what are you doing here? And I was feeling the same way because I was like, why is she here? Like, I was so confused. And so basically when they did the whole skit and they was playing around, and it was obviously she wasn't really competing, it was just supposed to be a little gag or whatever, that was fun. Another thing that was really funny when RuPaul came out and he was talking about what the girls are gonna win, what they're gonna be doing and all that stuff. It was funny when RuPaul was like, and it's gonna be crowned one winner, and Trinity was like, wait, are you sure? Because clearly me and Monet, we both won at the same time, and that was not expected. So I was like, definitely, hopefully it's not something where it's RuPaul always comes with a twist. He always comes with, something to wow the audience. So I hope it's not going to be anything crazy. I feel like the most craziest thing that we already found out is nobody's going home, which is good. But before I talk about that, I want to really get into all the rules of the game first before I really settle in on that. The rules of the game, basically nobody's going to be eliminated. So last season, everybody was complaining about how long the season was in season 14. Nobody was going home. Nobody was being eliminated. They were like, oh my god, when are we going to find our queen? When are we going to find the winner of this season? But this season is nobody's going home. Nobody's eliminated. Everybody's going to compete through the whole season. And I feel like on Twitter, when I read all the comments, everybody was ecstatic because, everybody, these are fan favorites, these are winners, these are people that people want to see on the television screen, especially people like Jinx and Roger that hasn't been on for a decade. So basically, I feel like it was a complete shift from oh my goodness, this season's too long, we need somebody to get eliminated, to oh my goodness, we get to see our favorites on the screen the whole time for 12 weeks straight. So I really like that. And also when they compete, I love how RuPaul said since nobody's going home, it's going to be a point system. So basically what's going to happen is from each challenge, there's going to be 2 winners. And with those 2 winners, they're going to both get awards, which I do like that both queens get an award. But then they're going to lip sync, so we don't have to miss any kind of lip syncs. And instead of going home, they get a chance to block somebody. So for me, I immediately thought okay, that sounds like it could be fun, but it also sounds we send some shots to each person. So for me, I was thinking to myself who would you block and who would you save? Are you going to have an alliance? Are you going to block the weakest? Are you going to block the strongest? What is the thought process that's going on through the girl's head? Another thing that I really like that why nobody's going home is because I get to see, some of my favorite queens. Nobody has to go home. We get to see the evolution of what they have from, when they went on the show, when they won, whatever they've done through the process of their, reign and after their reign, and then what they learned and how they got better as a drag queen. Because I feel as we all see through the episode, the first and second episode, we saw that every girl has definitely evolved and stepped their game up. So I'm happy that RuPaul is giving them the opportunity to show why we were winners, and to show that just because we were winners, we didn't stop evolving right there. We kept going even after our reign. So I really like that aspect of the show. And I wonder if on the other All-Star season, is it going to be like that? Or they're going to do a second All-Star winter season, they're going to do that, but not for the regular All-Stars. I wonder how it's going to be. For the first episode, you know, obviously it's a mini challenge and it's a maxi challenge. For this mini challenge, it automatically starts off with the reading. Some of the girls, they were cool when they were reading. Some of the girls, it was like, you know, pretty much, you know, safe. Nobody was like really too crazy, really too like, oh, I'm gonna get this bitch. But it was a couple girls that really stood out for me. When Jada was reading Trinity, it was the funniest thing because she was like, Trinity, I have nothing to say to you. You are the realest bitch I know, knees down. Because obviously it's a play on her being like, you know, like the plastic girl, whatever. But it's just so funny to me because the way Jada voices influx and like the way like her tone is, it just carried like this funny cadence to it. The Vivian, obviously she was funny. Like she was also reading Trinity. She was like, you're always known as the body, but not the face. Like I was just like, oh my goodness. Hands down, Jinx. She was my favorite. Everything she said, it was comedy gold. It was so funny to like listen to her like really read these girls because I can't really fully remember what she was saying when she did her first read, but with her being as smart as she is and the actress and the comedic actor she is, obviously she should have won, and obviously she did win because it was just amazing, and I was just like, oh my god. After the girls finished reading RuPaul for the first time on the season, they went to the stage. So basically on the stage, usually, you know, it's like some kind of rehearsal or some kind of, you know, challenge that they have to do, but since they already did the library challenge, I'm sure the girls are wondering like, why are they there? And RuPaul comes out and basically he says, before you de-drag, we have a special guest, a special queen that's going to show you and tell you some of her expertise. So all the girls are sitting there, they're all waiting, they're all wondering who is going to come out. Is it going to be a ninth girl? Is it going to be, you know, the guest judge? Who is it going to be? And out walks Naomi Campbell. So with Naomi Campbell, she is to me one of the most gorgeous women and one of the best models of all time. And if you see, obviously Shea Coulee thinks the exact same thing. Like when Naomi came out, Shea was like her reaction was the funniest reaction ever. Like she down there had an aneurysm. Like when they told her and they told all of them that they was gonna have a master walking class from Naomi Campbell, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I could not do it at all. Like honestly, I would not be able to walk in front of Naomi Campbell, the queen of walking. Could you do something like that? That's like honestly saying to build a phone in front of Steve Jobs. Like what? Like I could not ever do something like that. Like when every girl when they came out there, I could just only imagine what they was thinking. Like literally, Jada literally said her legs were like jello, but she gonna sit there and she gonna do what she gotta do, which she did look good. And it was so funny because when Monet came out, I personally like Monet's walk, and obviously you could see that Naomi wasn't really a fan. She was like, it was like, you know, I like the confidence and like her little foot thing that she was doing. I liked it, and it was probably because like me as a dancer, I like little cute stuff like that. But Naomi was like, please don't do it. When Shea came out, she came out stumping. She came out walking. Like she looked amazing. But even when we saw in like the trailer, you saw Shea like doing like her little strut. In my head immediately, I was like, oh my goodness, Shea looks gorgeous. Like she literally like just embodied what clearly she learned and she, you know, tried to portray from Naomi Campbell. So when they had like their little heart-to-heart moment, it was like so tear-jerking. Like when I was watching it, it was so sad because this was probably one of the most validating things that, you know, Shea has ever heard from, you know, obviously besides winning All-Star 4. But this is probably one of the most validating things because this is what she's probably been waiting for. One of the things that she's been waiting for like, honestly, the most of her drag career. So it was really, you know, really good and really light to like really watch. So next, they go back to the workroom, they de-drag, and they talk about the songwriting process of the Maxi Challenge. So basically what happens is the girls are talking about what they're going to write about this, and they're going to talk about what they're going to be about, and like how they're going to come off and show this is who I am now, this is not me from back then. And basically what I gather from everybody is they talk about, you know, what makes them them and what makes them very unique. And then they go to the stage and like they work on a choreography because they have to learn, they learn that they have to work on the choreo themselves, and they have to pick who's going to be the leader and the choreographer for that challenge. So basically they all come up fresh faced, they all look, you know, really nice, you know, young presentable men. And then you see freaking Monet. Monet comes out, looks like somebody auntie, because I am so confused why she still has on makeup and everything else is de-dragged. Like she literally, it just, to me, it just looks like she's so out of place. Like you have on a tank top and some booty shorts and some high glam makeup on. Like, it just makes no sense at all. I love when they all nominate Shea to be like the leader and like the choreographer of this challenge, because Shea is the best dancer out of the group. I really love how they just come to the consensus and it's like, Shea, you have to be the leader and choreographer. It's like, this is like the most sensible what it is. When I'm watching the girls perform, when I'm watching the girls, you know, choreograph and like they put in like their 2 cents and things like that, like it really gives like off a really professional energy. Like if you look at all the other challenges like this from like other seasons, it kind of looks like, you know, a little sloppy, or it kind of looks like, you know, a little all over the place because there's so many, you know, point of views, there's so many people that's talking, there's so many, you know, just ideas being thrown out there, which it did kind of like that at first, but then they got it together and it just looked really good. After that, the queens go back into the workroom and they start actually getting ready for the Maxi Challenge. And so when the queens are talking, they're talking about their strategy, how they want to block everybody. And when they say, you know, back then in the other All-Star season, they say at first they went on like, you know, the judges' critique, so they usually, you know, send home the weakest girl. But this time around, they're not sending anybody home. They're blocking somebody. And then in that thought process, it's like, why would you want to block the weakest person? Because if they're not going to get any stars, if they're not going to get any rewards, it's a, you know, a throwaway vote. So you have no choice but to block the strongest person. So, you know, logically speaking, somebody's going to get mad if they get blocked. And so basically, it really throws the game in like a complete new loop that nobody has ever done before. And honestly, for me as a competitor, as somebody that likes competition, I like this. I personally did not like always sending home the weakest girl. I wanted people to send home the strongest person to, like, you know, show that this is a competition. Like, yes, they're sisters. Yes, you know, everybody's supposed to be family. But at the end of the day, this is a competition. You're here to win money. Why would you keep the strongest person there to possibly show you you're not going to win if you keep that person there? So basically, I feel like RuPaul got tired of these girls playing nice and was like, you know what, we're finna switch this up. Y'all all winners? Okay, prove y'all all winners. And let me see what y'all got. And also, obviously, we know RuPaul likes a story. So, you know, wants to create a, you know, bigger story. I will say I love when Monet and Trinity was like, when they were talking about the alliance. And it was just like, basically, you know, everybody thinks that we're enemies. Everybody thinks because we're twinners that, you know, we don't like each other, but we actually are really good friends. So I like how, like, they create an alliance of some sort, but I'm just scared because I feel like they're going to get found out, because literally as soon as they finish talking about it, Jinx comes up and it's like, oh, did I hear, you know, let's work together? It was really cute when everybody was coming up to Raja and they were like, oh my goodness, Raja, when we seen you on the season, it was so good, and like, you know, we looked up to you and we liked what you saw and all this stuff. And in my head, I'm like, if I was Raja, I'd be like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. But then be thinking like, these bitches really think I'm old. Like, they're talking to me like I am like a century. They're talking to me like I am RuPaul. Like, oh my goodness, yes, I was not on here for a long time, but god damn. Like, I understand that you guys just got on the show, but please don't look at me as I'm a grandma. I am right here with you guys. I promise you I'm not that old. Another thing that like just really kind of like made me tear up is when Jada, when she kind of like broke down and she was talking about, you know, she won over like, you know, she did win over a Zoom call, and she probably felt like, you know, a little inadequate with the other girls because all the other girls had like, you know, like a full reign, and like they got to go out and do things, they got to go out and travel the world, and they got to just go out and like be themselves and like just show the world what they got. And like for Jada, since it was, you know, around like the quarantine time, she wasn't really able to show anybody. Like even for the finale, she literally had to lip sync in her living room. Like she didn't even get a grand finale. So I know she probably feel like, you know, a little less than, because she didn't really get to show what she was made of. So when like, I feel like this was like the most emotional side I feel like we've seen from Jada since her season, and like we haven't even really seen nothing like that emotional in her season. Like it really like brought like out like a human side from her. And I really liked that because it was really telling like, okay, Jada isn't just like this pretty girl that's just like, I'm stunning, look at me, but it was like, I'm also a human. So like, that was really great to look at. Here it is, the time comes for the Maxi Challenge. Before the Maxi Challenge actually happens, you know, RuPaul does his thing. He calls out every other judges, talks about them, and then when they get to camera, you know, they have like a little bit, you know, back and forth, and like they talk about a song. And then RuPaul was like, oh, you like my songs? Well, I actually have a new song that just came out. And Cameron was like, you know what? What do you mean? What do you mean you have a song? You know, we're going to start the show. And obviously RuPaul, because you know RuPaul loves some money, he's going to have to do a promotion on his own show, which is so funny to me, but obviously, what other way it's to do it? So basically, you know, she promotes her new song, and you know, she looks good. I feel like this is the first time I've ever seen her in a bodysuit. Her body is looking nice, right and tight. Like, her makeup is looking good. Raven, you know, she's doing her job. But one thing that I could not get over is, like, the dancers are, like, you know, dancing, they doing all these things, and then when you look at RuPaul, RuPaul is in this little box. Now I know RuPaul isn't a showgirl. I know he's not the girl to like be doing all like these flips, tricks, dips, and slips, but it's just really crazy to me. Like it feels like I'm watching like Mariah Carey, because I'm just like, this girl is not budging a bit. Like she is not moving. I would say that. Like she is flailing these hands. She is doing every little whack and she doing all of it. But she has not moved from 2 steps. And I'm like, okay, what is going on? Why are you not moving? Like it was just so funny to me to think like, yes, she is an older woman, but I'm just like, you are not budging at all. Like you're really giving us Charlie High 2.0. Like it was just like I did not understand. Like it was just so funny to me. Time comes for the actual girls to actually perform their song Legends or Legendary. And so when the girls come, first I want to say is like, I personally feel like all the girls looked really good. The choreography was really clean. Even for the girls that weren't really considered as dancers, like it all looked good. Nobody looked out of place. Nobody looked unstable. I would say that my favorite performance of the time was Trinity, Monet, and Shea. And they all had like my favorite parts. It wasn't anything that's necessarily stuck out in their lines per se, but their performance, like, you know, quality, like their showcase, the vibe that they gave off, it was very charming. It was very alluring. Like it really made the most stand out for me. And for the song itself, I don't know if it was just me, but I feel like the track was louder than their voices. So it's like when I was trying to listen to the lines, it really made it, you know, really hard to understand exactly what they were saying in certain parts. So I really couldn't, you know, really get with the song too much for that, like, really key point, because I really couldn't understand what anybody was saying, because I feel like the song, the music, was louder than the voices. So I just really couldn't get with it. I will say, I don't know if there was supposed to be like a theme for this song, but everybody looked kind of like in like a different scene. Like nobody looked like really coordinated, and obviously nobody's sitting in the back, you know, before the show and it's like, oh well, we should plan this out together. We should have this kind of bodysuit, like this kind of hair. Like I understand that they don't do that, but it just really felt very out of place. Like nobody felt like they was doing the same performances. Like nobody was like anywhere close to like coordinating. So it was just really funny to like look at that. But I would say they all looked good. Nobody looked bad at all. Okay, so this is where the time comes for the girls to show their fashion sense. And this is their runway. So this runway was crowning. So first comes out is Raja. And as soon as she come out, I feel like she is just proving why she is the OG fashion queen. Like this woman, no, this goddess looks amazing. Like I love the androgyny behind her look. Like it really looked like a king and a queen. Like how she said like her name means king, but she's a drag queen. Like I love the androgyny behind it. The makeup was stunning. I feel like besides her, I've never seen anybody paint as good as her, and like the style that she paints. Like don't get me wrong, it's been amazing makeup artists on the show, but like the way that she paints, it literally looks like this is Rosh. Like it really looks very distinct. So it was so good for me. I would say the hair, it was very unique. It was very cool. I've never seen any kind of hair like that. And how she said she designed the look from shoe first and she built around it, because it really proves her fashion sense and how good her eye, how keen her eye is. So it was very good. I really want to say it overall was just stunning. Next we have is Jinx. So this is the most stunning I feel like I've ever seen Jinx. The colors complement her skin tone so well. I'm guessing orange and like reddish is like her you know, signature colors. I feel like it literally just made me think about Tina Burner, where it's like Tina Burner literally was just like in your face and it just looked messy, where like this is how you should do like that color palette. Like it was just so good. I feel like it really complements her skin tone so well. I love the crown piece on the top of her head. Like it was very magnificent. Like the makeup was gorgeous. I love how she looked so amazing, but she also like put in like her comedic little points in there. Like when she stuck out her leg, like it really showed like, yes, you can see me as like gorgeous and glamorous, but I'm still here. I'm still Jinx. I'm still that funny queen that you guys know. Like that was really good to me too. Okay, next we have is Monet. First, I would say I love, just like how Shea is, she pays homage to black women. Like, it was so good. Whether it's the opulent, fine, and wine, and dying, lavish black woman, which we will see in the next episode from Miss Monet. or it's like the rough around the edges, around the way girl that's just making it. And I love like the natural hairstyle and the piece and the jewels and like the little piece in the crown that's set right in the middle inside her wig. Like that was so good. I love that it was a natural hair. I love that it was kind of like paying like the homage to like the 90s era, and it was like mixing it up, which is probably one of my favorite eras of fashion. Like I really love the 90s. And then she put an abstract feel to it, and it just topped it off with the big hoop earrings, the double chains, and the Tim heels. Like it literally felt like she just like stepped up her fashion game from like all the seasons she's been on. And I love that she's really proven to show that she's not just like, you know, a theater queen, but like she's also like a fashion queen as well. Next we have is Trinity. So she's like giving me like this rich, opulent aunt. Like she has a husband that hunts like the most expensive sea animals. Now hear me out. When I first saw her, like it literally looked like she's wearing like a purple, like royal purple dyed like crab hands. Like if you look like the plush around like on her head, on her wrist, like it literally looks like the crab or lobster hand. That like when it's closed, like it really looks like she was like, I want what my husband does, but I want it in fashion. So it literally looks like if you look at her head and her wrist, it was like the lobster, and then it was like the boning of her chest and her, you know, her hips. But then at the end, I love like the huge big train, because if I'm not mistaken, that is probably the biggest train that's been on Drag Race. And it just looks really good, like the color of her skin that match it really goes well with her dress. But I will say that I agree with like kind of like with Nicole Byer when she was like the hair just really didn't do it for me. Like if it was like some kind of like natural human color, it would have been really cute. But overall the style was cute. It was just the hair color itself I wasn't really feeling it. But overall Trinity really did good, and like I feel like it really made up like her entrance look, because her entrance look was not my favorite. So I'm happy she bounced back with like a really good first runway look. So of course from Evie we're gonna get something completely out of the box, and I am just absolutely here for it. Like let's break it down. The outfit itself is literally constructed from football armor, from the chest piece to the skirt corset, and then it looked like she just dipped it in a melting vat of crayons. Like it was just so cool, and like the dripping effect of her crown onto her face, like it was so stunning. Like who else could pull this off besides someone like Evie? Like honestly, she is one of like the ultimate camp queens. Like nobody else could pull it off, and it was just so gorgeous to see her in like these negative space heels. Like I feel like I haven't seen anybody wear those kind of heels in a long time, and I'm really happy like she's bringing it back, because I always thought it was so cool when I saw girls wear those kind of heels. Next we have is the Viv. She's also another one that's wearing the negative space heels too, so I'm guessing it's like bringing it come back. I'm guessing. I don't know if it's like really big in the drag scene or not, but like I'm really loving it. I will say for Viv, she looks very whimsical. I get the concept unless it's not the concept, but for me the concept was, it was like something like what Cameron Diaz was saying. Like it was definitely giving me like the Queen of the Nymphs, and it was in like the forest, and I really liked it. Like it was really a cute like creative design for me. Next we have is Jada. So obviously we know Jada for her looks. Obviously we know her for being a stunning pageant queen. Like obviously we know that. But for this, it was a little all over the place for me, especially for Jada's taste, because she is so fashionable. Like it wasn't bad by any means, but I didn't fully understand it. So I was hoping when she was doing her interview that she was gonna help me understand it a little bit better, but she didn't. So I'm still lost on what the thing was. Like please don't kill me. I will say the only thing I do like is like her hair. Like I love like the, you know, the locked beehive hair when it was like the little small crown. Like I like that, but I also didn't like the hair in the back when it was like a ponytail with like different texture. Like I didn't like it. Like it just kind of looked like it was all over the place for me. Like it kind of felt like two different concepts and one that didn't really go well with each other. So I was kind of not really liking it, and it's crazy because Jada is like one of the most fashionable girls I've seen on Drag Race. So I don't know. Hopefully, you know, next week she does better. Hopefully. Lastly, but certainly not least, we have Miss Shea Coulee. When I say she is stunning, that woman is stunning. When I tell you, it was like, bitch, y'all want to see her all win the season? Hold my drink. She did not come to play. Like, this woman is phenomenal. Like, the Nefertiti reference, it was clearly on point. She's looking like the queen that she is. Like, she literally, from the beginning of the episode to the end of the episode, like, honestly, this episode was meant for Miss Shea Coulee. Like, she really was an outstanding person this whole episode. Like, I really loved it. Like, Honestly, Shea really stole the whole thing. Like, she is one of the top people to be looking out for. If anybody comes and like they win, man, I would be blocking Shea. She's too good for me. She is too good for me. After the runway, we get to the judges and we start hearing their critiques. So when RuPaul says All-Star winner rules are in effect, I hope y'all know y'all catching on to these key terms, because basically they're saying this in a point in time of this show, that rule will not be in effect, and somebody I feel is going to either have to lip sync to go home, or they're going to lip sync to send somebody home. Like, I really hope y'all caught that little detail right there. I will say, when it was judging everybody, and Trinity said that she didn't know any of the lyrics, in my head I was like, girl, why did you say anything? Because for me, I didn't know she didn't know all the lyrics until she said something. But I will say RuPaul did say he caught it, and he was like, oh, no, I definitely noticed. But she just had such a stage presence about her that she just did so good. I will say, if y'all notice, not trying to be a bummer, not trying to be shady, but y'all see how nobody commented on Jada's dress at all. Like, they all said her performance was good, and like, you know, they threw in like a little compliment on her, but they did not comment on her dress. I wonder if this is going to be a season where they don't say anything bad, because it won't be as fun, for the simple fact it's like, this whole season can't be butterflies and, you know, rainbows. Like, it has to be, you know, some a little bit of the bad side if y'all really want a good storyline. And at the end of the day, like, yes, they're winners, but nobody's perfect. So it's just like they're used to criticism. They know what's when they go on an All-Star season. Like, they know. So it's like, I just hope it's not gonna be a thing where it's like they compliment everything, but they don't give like any kind of critiques or anything because they're winners or because of, you know, their stature or whatever the case may be. I will say, out of all the guest judges of all time in Drag Race history, that Diaz seems like she's the most well knowledge of like drag and like Drag Race and like things like that. Like, she seems like she's very well versed in that. So I really liked hearing her comments, because a lot of times I feel like when I look at like a guest judge, they're like, yes, it was cute, I liked it, okay. Like, it didn't feel like one note. Like, it really felt like she knew what she was talking about. And you really could tell that she, like, really actually liked drag. So it was, like, just really something, you know, fun and very, something, you know, fresh to actually listen. Like, somebody that actually had, like, a good point of view that was judging the girls. And not just, like, I like it or I don't like it. Okay, so for the lip sync, the top two is Monet Exchange and Shea Coulee. I will say this. I do agree with both of these winners, because I do feel like they stood out in the challenges and in the runway. So I do agree with both of this. When they was getting ready for like their lip sync and they was on stage, I don't know what kind of song I was expecting. I don't know what kind of performance I was expecting, because they are like triple threats. It could go either way. It could be any kind of style of a lip sync and they would still do good. And I was not expecting what they had to lip sync to. Like, I wasn't expecting it at all, but I loved it. These are both legends, and they showed that they could dance, they could do all the jumps, the splits, and I feel like RuPaul knew that, so she had to elevate it even more, dealing with such talented queens. And so, speaking about all the girls, Monet started off very, very strong, but I feel like something in Shea knew that it was going that way, so Shea just started like turning up as soon as the music climax began to turn up too. So I will say, even though I am more of a Monet fan, I will agree that Shea definitely deserved that win, because I don't know what inside of Shea started to bubble up, but she was like, oh, nah, fuck that, I'm getting this first win. And, you know, that's what she did. And it was very well deserved, but I'm still happy that Monet still got her legend badge, at least. So she's still, you know, one step ahead in getting that. So, you know, I'll take it if I have to. So you guys know, after, you know, the winner of the lip sync, somebody has to get the golden plunger. And for Shea, you know, since she can't, you know, exclude Monet, since she already won and she was in a lip sync, who would be the next best choice? Now, for me, after what I saw today, Trinity definitely would have been one of the ones I would have blocked. It would have been a couple girls too, but Trinity definitely would have been one of the ones I would have blocked, just because she did show a strong stage presence, even if she didn't know the lyrics. And if it wasn't Trinity, I would have definitely picked Jinx or Raja, because besides Monet, they would have been on my hit list too, because they're all strong competitors and they're strong girls. Okay, so to wrap it up, my final consensus of this episode, I want to say I take back everything or anything close to anything negative I had to say about Jinx or Raja, because these two girls came to show, just because they were on earlier seasons, that don't mean that they cannot compete, because they definitely have came to compete. They showed they asses. And now, just like I had a clear-cut vision on who I thought was going to win the season, right now, simply because of the rules of the game, it's between Monet and Shea. But anybody could win this season. Anybody could come up and snatch the crown. So honestly, I don't have like a clear-cut vision of who could possibly win. I do have a couple girls. Like I would say, like it'll be Shea, Monet, Jinx, or Raja, or possibly Trinity. But other than that, definitely Shea, Monet, Jinx, and Raja is definitely winning the season for me at this episode point. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you guys, let me know. Like, did you guys agree with what I have to say? Did you guys disagree? Did you guys, feel like I was a little too harsh? Did you guys feel like I was a little too, mean? Like, what do you guys think? Make sure you comment down below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And click the notification down below if you want to see more of this face. And I'll make sure you guys see me next time. And also, as we see on Paramount, they have 2 episodes out. So be on the lookout. If you've already seen this video, make sure you go to my channel and see the second video of episode 2. Because they'll be coming out at the exact same time. So, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.